Welcome back to MJL 3764, collecting Elvis on vinyl. Today I thought we'd start to take a look at this series, Elvis's Golden Records. In this series there was 5 volumes. First one, Elvis's Golden Records, released in 1958. Second one, Elvis's Golden Records Volume 2 with a subtitle 50 Million Elvis Fans Can't Be Wrong, released in 1960. The third one, Elvis's Golden Records Volume 3, released in 1964. The fourth one, Elvis's Gold Records Volume 4. Notice a change in the title. It is now Gold Records instead of Golden Records. This was released in 1968. And Volume 5, Elvis's Gold Records, released in 1985. So let's look at the first one, Elvis's Golden Records. Elvis's Golden Records, when issued in 1958, reached number 2 in the UK album chart. And this album has been repressed many times, in the UK alone about 10 times. So there's a lot of different variants in the labels and the covers and the track listings. So basically the first 5 releases in the UK were on the Red Seal label. They were issued in 1958, 1960, 1963, 1967 and 1969. And then it was issued again in 1970 with a completely different cover. The first issue of Elvis's Golden Records had a blue tint to the lettering, which was replaced later on with a white tint. It also had an 8-page booklet inside, which was later replaced with a 4-page booklet, which was later replaced by a gatefold sleeve, which was later replaced by a single sleeve. And as said previously, the Red Seal labels, the very first one was on the large Red Seal silver spot. The second one in 1960 was also on that same large Red Seal silver spot. The third one was on a small Red Seal silver spot in 1963. The fourth one was on a small black RCA dot. And the last one was on the block RCA in 1969. And of course the track listing was different from the UK album to the US album. The first press looks like this. And that's the label, which is slightly darker than the latter Red Seal copies. Show you one. Yeah, as you can see. And to confuse matters even more, there are variants of these Red Seal labels as well. Cover is the 8-page booklet. American fans will recognise this booklet, as it's the same pictures as the ones that they received in their Christmas album, which we had a different cover to. There's the pictures. Very nice package for its time. Probably one of my favourite 50 shots of Elvis. And you've got a laminated back side and front side. So it's a nice one to look out for if you can get it in good condition. Obviously a lot of them are falling apart now with the pictures, but that's a nice copy to own. That's the 1958 press. Press from 1960 now. This has got a matte cover with a 4-page booklet. Label looks like that. And the booklet, well, you can tell it's a latter edition, as these pictures have been used on albums actually. This is the Elvis album, or for LP fans only. Bit of a write up there. The Gold Records Volume 2 cover. And a picture from the photo session for Elvis's back cover. That was used on the back of the UK Gold Records Volume 2 album and the King Creole album. And that's the 4-page booklet of the latter copy with a different backside as well from the original. A 1963 copy now. We've gone back to the laminate. And this is now a gatefold. And we've gone to the small red seal silver spot. And that's the gatefold cover. Next one up is a 1967 pressing, laminated front cover. Slightly different cover now. You've got the RCA Victor there now, and you've got the mono, the prefix number there. Slightly different. And this, of course, now is a single jacket, which looks like that. And the record is on the red seal, RCA, black dot. The last one of the red seal label, still in a single jacket. This one from 1969, and it's the block RCA label. Still in the mono. A year later it will be repressed with a completely different cover, 1970. As you can see now, this is now called Elvis's Golden Records Volume 1. The original album just called Elvis's Golden Records, as they didn't know how many there was going to be at the time. So this is now called Elvis's Golden Records Volume 1. Got a picture from the 68 TV special on it. I think it's a great cover, but I do prefer actually the cover to represent what's inside, what's on the record, but there's no denying, for me this is a great cover. It's in the laminate when it first came out in 1970. On the front, matte on the back, with the same write up. And it was on the gloss RCA orange. In 1977 it was pressed again. It's now in a matte cover and a slightly different cover as well. You see it's just got RCA on the left, whereas the previous copy had RCA Victor. It's also on a matte label, orange label. And the back cover's got slight differences as well. You can see it's got the RCA top right hand corner, and the previous copy's got stereo and the RCA on the left. The previous copy's also got the year, and the 77 press hasn't. These are now not mono, but electronically reprocessed for stereo. So that's just some of the UK presses of Elvis's Golden Records. Still got a few more to show, a couple of German copies, a Mexican copy, an Italian copy and a US copy. However, probably these videos are going to run into 2 or 3 videos now for this Golden Records series, so probably show them in part 2. So we'll take a quick look at a couple of versions of this album on CD now before we wrap it up. Probably the 2 best ones to get. The FTD release, which is a double now. That's a double CD, which features extra tracks. There's a track listing. They've kept it to the American track listing, this one. And as the bonus songs, I thought they may have added the 4 Sun tracks which we had on the UK edition, but they haven't. They've opted to go for other tracks to beef up that side. And you've got a disc of extras as well. And a nice booklet. As always, from FTD. Lots of information, which tells us that apart from Elvis's Christmas album, the 1970 version one, this is probably his biggest seller. So that's the FTD version. This CD set here is a great one to get if you want to get all the Golden Records put together. It's a 5 CD set and features all the volumes with extra tracks, and it's at a pretty cheap price as well. That's a nice one to look out for, this one. And there's all the tracks with all the extra tracks as well. And the CDs look like that. And they're in the card sleeves. And they sound fine. So I think we'll wrap it up for today. Part 2 coming shortly. So until the next time, thank you for watching, and just remember, while there's music, life's no waste.